Streams in. What's up? What's up? It's the last night of Hanukkah, so if you are celebrating Hanukkah, happy day of Hanukkah to you. And I also had a video come out. It was kind of like really dark and depressing, and I meant for it to be like a nicer video this week because last week's edited video was supposed to be the depressing one, and this week was supposed to be a lift me up. And then I don't know, like I was writing and it just ended up being like another dark black pill video. So I'm sorry about that. Don't watch it if you don't want to be black pilled. Tonight should be a little more lighthearted. And so first person commenting on Periscope says, I don't understand your title. So the title of this live stream is your day job really more meaningful to you than sex work? So this is in reference to story that has been going viral the past few days. The New York Post published a story about a woman who had an OnlyFans account. She was running an OnlyFans on the side while during the day job she was working as a healthcare worker. So she was a New York City young woman who had a side job as an OnlyFans. She was like making money on OnlyFans while also working as a nurse or EMT. And the New York Post wrote a headline about that, and everyone was tweeting about it. And of course, everybody had an opinion on whether she should be doing that, whether it's like ethical to have an OnlyFans account. And then Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez jumped in and was like, don't judge this person, basically, and stop doxing her. She actually came to this person's defense twice that I can remember on Twitter, saying like, stop doxing this person and stop judging her, because the real problem is the fact that two people need two jobs in order to survive in New York City. I agree with her for totally different reasons. And I know that AOC has completely different opinions than I do about politics. And if it were up to her, we would all be completely dependent on government and living in some kind of communist society. But I agree with her that it is absurd that things are to the point where you need two jobs in order to survive right now, especially if you are even if you're working as a healthcare worker, which usually tends to be pretty steady and stable pay. So I agree with her 100%. Dwayne says, Periscope, I thought that was over. I'm on YouTube for the first time. I mean, I'm here on this stream via YouTube for the first time. Welcome to YouTube. And I'm glad that you're on YouTube, because Periscope is not over yet, but it is going to be over. So in just a couple months, it's going to be completely over. I'm going to keep doing this on Periscope until they completely knock us all out. And it's just going to be YouTube. So good for you that you're ahead, you're on YouTube. And I do tend to pay attention a little more to my YouTube commenters in general, because they that's where people are super chatting me. And by the way, super chatting, I'll talk about all these different forms of income, what's considered real work, what's considered like sex work, because that's a topic that has been brought up, and it's like a whole political thing, and I don't think it should be a political thing. What's considered real work to you? So what up, fantasy football? Thank you so much. And someone whose name you don't have, nameless, says, first of all, Pardes, if you had an OnlyFans, I'd be the first sub. Yeah, I've been told to make an OnlyFans, but I won't be making an OnlyFans. But I'm not opposed to it for people who do it. I don't think that there's anything. First of all, OnlyFans it's completely like a virtual thing from what I understand. I've never actually had an OnlyFans subscription, so I've never actually followed someone on OnlyFans, but I've like checked out how it works and checked out other people's profiles just out of curiosity, and it seems to be just like a totally virtual thing. You're not actually meeting up in person with, or most of the time, especially now that there's COVID, you're not actually having any sort of like meaningful in-person relationship with your subscribers. It's kind of like an exclusive, like it's like how we're doing this live stream, but we're like exclusive and explicitly like sexual. So, and like I don't even know if sexual is the right word. Maybe lewd. I shouldn't be saying it loud because there's like kids around. I don't want to be saying. But Jason says my friend is on OnlyFans. I know a ton about it. Yeah, I want to hear more about how you guys have experienced OnlyFans. RMN says it's just like being an influencer. I agree. It's just like being an influencer. So if I were to go, and I see so many influencers, conservative influencers, who are like, OnlyFans is not real work. Shame on them for degrading women. But if you're a woman and you're on here and you're an influencer, like you're kind of mocking yourself by saying that. If I am on here every day and I'm like doing this live stream, I don't know why people watch my live stream. It might be because I have these like fun lights on my head. It might be because like of like the shirt I'm wearing, but it might also be because I'm like, there's so many reasons why, but the fact is that a lot of people watch women on live streams. That's, you know, like it's like a preference. And I would be really silly and like unaware if I were to come on here and be like, oh, those e-thoughts, those women who are putting themselves out there on OnlyFans are shameful, and they're just profiting off of shameful, unethical, not real work. And it would be really silly if I said that, and actually it would actually be kind of jealous, because those people actually make more money than, you know, this is free. Anyone can watch this. I make money from, if on this stream, I make money from super chats. Feel free to send me a super chat on YouTube, but you don't have to. That's the point. Like, this makes a lot less money than having an OnlyFans account. You might even say OnlyFans is more real work than this, than anyone who, like me, is an influencer. So some of the comments are so funny. Jason says OnlyFans is risque boudoir modeling at minimum, and other stuff at maximum. Dennis says, can you cook? No comment. I cooked a bunch of things this week that were total disasters, so mostly ended up eating out the rest of the time. Midnight says, I agree with you. Many of these girls are too young to realize the long-term consequences of OnlyFans. And the thing is, like, if you're a woman who works, and forget women in general, if you're working a 9-to-5 job where your boss is having you do things that you don't want to do, you're doing meaningless work all day, you hate your job, do you consider that real work? You're literally, you're pimping yourself out. I mean, women on OnlyFans aren't even they're not even like doing anything so invasive. They're having fun and they're making a lot of money while they're at it. They're hustlers. To me, when I see people who are mad at that, I just think that they're jealous. You having a 9-to-5 job that you're doing things that you hate, that you don't enjoy, that you don't believe in. You're advocating for things that you hate, don't believe in, don't enjoy, just to make money. That's, to me, that's not real work. And there's so many people who are stuck, and they're like, oh, but it's shameful because just for money, you're giving yourself up, you're degrading yourself just for money. Isn't that every night? If you haven't had a job like that where you felt like you were degrading yourself for money, then you're very, very lucky. You're upper class, very lucky. Most people have had at least 1 or 2 jobs in the past where it they actually degraded themselves for money. And I'm seeing this a lot. You're degrading yourself for money. If you're working at a job where you're actually degrading yourself, women on OnlyFans are, they're actually their own boss. Compared to you, you have an actual boss who's abusing you and degrading you every day, yelling at you, telling you you're nothing, you're a piece of shit. And you think that is more meaningful? Either you don't understand the irony in what you're saying, or you have not experienced that. And so for a lot of women, yes, OnlyFans is much more worth it. And thank you, Joe. Thank you for the super chat. And that was on YouTube. And Minesh says, most jobs are meaningless. We just do them for money. Exactly. If you're just doing your job for money and you're not actually enjoying yourself, at least these women on OnlyFans seem to enjoy themselves. Someone said, I don't remember who it was. Someone says it sounds like you want to make one yourself. No, I don't need to make an OnlyFans yet. I'm kidding. But I haven't even looked into it so much. Honestly, I'm really more focused on doing YouTube videos, like focusing on making really good YouTube videos. And by the way, if you guys have any ideas, let me know, because I'm interested and I want to hear what people want, and I enjoy making them. Yeah. Nameless says, I gotta go light bulb head, but put on the link in your bio if you make one. Haha. Thanks. And I don't see anything wrong with it when like I see those women as hustlers. If guy saying that, if you were a woman, I know that you would want to take advantage of that. And I think that too many women don't take advantage of that, and instead they sit at office jobs where they have, and right now I'm projecting, I'm talking about myself, they have a ton of experience, they have a ton of education. I've been in school my whole life. I've been studying my whole life. And they get awards, they spend so much money on all of it and time, and are just working so hard just to sit in an office where they are like collecting peanuts, and these men are walking around and being like, you're just getting views on your articles, you're just getting positive feedback on your work because you're a girl, and people only want to hear what you have to say because you're a girl. And so when you see that, you're like, you know what, you're right. Why don't I actually make money for that? Why am I sitting here with you, with all the ugly people in the office? If that's the truth. And so those guys would be doing it if they were actually girls. And if that's what they believe, those guys would be doing it too. And I think that, so there's like an undertone of jealousy usually that I hear whenever I see people who don't have OnlyFans accounts, who don't make a lot of money, shitting on people who do. And again, I don't think that that's something that I need to do personally, because I'm busy with other stuff, the real estate, the videos. So if there's a way that you can make a lot more money somewhere else, like real estate, by the way, if you want to make money in real estate, I'm plugging myself. Real estate in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This year, Texas, specifically the Dallas-Fort Worth area, broke national records for luxury houses that are $1 million and up. So people are buying in Texas, and they're buying in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the prices, no matter where you live in that area, they're going up. People are calling me. They're interested in investments. They're interested in fixer-uppers. Most people that are calling me, because they're from out of state, they're mostly interested in investing. But whatever it is, like, there's a lot of money to be made in the real estate market and construction, by the way. Like, probably even more in construction, actually. If you are a painter, tile person, fixer, a plumber, contractor of any kind, like, hit me up. And you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, hit me up. There's a lot of money to be made. Anyway, that was like total just off track. But Adam says, can you find me a home in Oklahoma? I can find you someone who can find you a home in Oklahoma. I can help you, because I don't think I can, but I can do like a referral through my firm. Andrew says OnlyFans is bad for society. Jason says Pardes women work because they are cheap labor. They can't negotiate wages. Only in real estate do they outperform men, plus get the money that they deserve. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, I believe you. Also, there's so many ways to make money in real estate. That's not just, but there's so many ways. Like, but for both men and women. But if it's a job that is just for women and you're doing it, like having an OnlyFans account, I'm not opposed. Yeah, and women are really bad at negotiating wages. And also, like, when you have a girly girl who's trying to get a job and they're like, how much do you want? And she says, I want 100K, I want 6 figures. You look at her and you're just like, dude, you're so silly and dumb. Why would I pay you 100K? No matter how smart the girl is and how many years, even if you think she's smart, it's so hard to take her seriously at the office, and it's so hard to like show your managers why it was worth it to pay a 6-figure salary for this little girly girl who doesn't really look like she knows what she's talking about. That same girl could make so much money on OnlyFans. It's always those people. There's always a market, and that's what I'm trying to say. If you're a free market person like me, you would think that this is beautiful. It's a where there's oversupply in one market, there is a demand for it in another market. So why not go where the market takes you? Make money, hustle. Like, I'm a huge supporter of that. Paul Knight, super chat. I never get why people get upset about stuff like that. If they don't like it, don't watch. Good. Yeah, don't watch. And the nice thing about OnlyFans is that you can only watch if you're a subscriber. So why does it even affect you? Those people would be actually, they're actually better. The people who are subscribed on OnlyFans are actually, in my opinion, way better off than people who are going on, like, I don't know, some random XX website where there's just random uploads from who knows where. You know, with OnlyFans, at least you have kind of like a relationship. You have, it's some kind of consistency, and it's a little bit more wholesome, in my opinion. Midnight says, I live in Austin. I've been buying up Tesla, Oracle, or moving there. Yep. That's awesome. Awesome in Austin. Everyone is moving to Texas. It's crazy. It's funny. Thanks for the hair compliment. Thank you. This is my baby niece's. She might actually join us on the live stream. I'm very excited. RM says, as the population of humans grows, is it just natural that we would see an increase in S workers? I'm going to start saying S workers because I don't know if this is going to demonetize me. I hope it doesn't. Oh, Cecil says you can do it through Tanner Williams. So the person who wanted to buy a house in Oklahoma, Cecil says you can do it through Tanner Williams. We can, I'll get in touch with Cecil if you're still interested. Person who wanted to buy I think it was Adam. Hit me up and I will get you in touch with Cecil, who will get you in touch with Tanner Williams. Okay, cool. Midnight says Austin, Dallas, Texas. A lot of companies are moving there. Oracle, Tesla, etc. It's a place to be. Yep, it is a place to be. Where there's deficiency in one market, there is supply in the other. Everybody from California is moving to Texas. All the people who originally moved to California because there was money to be made in that market are moving to Texas. Don't stay where you're not making money. Go where you're gonna make money. If you're a girl who has nothing to offer to the world other than, and like, it's not even nothing to offer because sometimes sometimes you have everything to offer, but the thing that you have to offer the most is what you can offer on OnlyFans. If that's the thing that you have to offer the most and that's where you can make the most money and feel the most fulfilled, then like do that. If you don't feel fulfilled doing that, then don't do that, because you should do what you feel fulfilled doing. So I'm a huge fan of allowing yourself to be taken where the market takes you. And no, you're not degrading women. You're not degrading women. Degrade women. Like people degrade themselves. I don't mean you're degrading other women. There's always gonna be women who are making money in this industry. You can make it the way that you want it to be. You can make it more wholesome if you want, if that's important to you. Cold outside right now though. Says, Pardes, what do you think about men voting majority Republican and women voting majority Democrat? Was women voting a mistake? That's funny. That's funny because I always say that I shouldn't be voting, but not because I'm a girl, but just because I don't feel like I care enough about particular I don't feel like I care about certain candidates enough to vote for them. It feels like such a pressure to have, but it's possible. Not voting. I mean, not that it's a mistake, but I know I get what you're saying. Women, maybe women are going to be more emotional voters. So, and Democrats are like, they're known to be very emotional, like to be very manipulative with emotions, and like their whole platform is always about emotions. But the children, oh no, but won't someone think about, oh no, this is hate, racism. Like, it's never about like a rational outcome. It's always some sort of like emotional thing, like virtue signaling. And so women are also, and another thing that Democrats do a lot is they will use social manipulation. So they'll use a lot of peer pressure, like this opinion is fringy, bad, unpopular. Those people are the extremists, so we don't want to have anything to do with them. And so they won't focus on like actual facts. And women tend to be very, and this isn't like a dunk on women, this is actually, I mean, in other ways it can be helpful, but women tend to be way more social than men, like very social creatures. So they're going to be more likely to respond to those like manipulative stuff. Like if without even like listening to the policy platform, if one policy platform is going to make you more popular with your friends, if one policy platform is like the more like trendy platform, I think if you're female, you're going to be more inclined to want to follow it because men are just not as social. So I think the tactics that Democrats use are more directed at women. And then, of course, on top of that, there's a lot of like the women's issues, like making legalizing abortion, like that's a women's issue. It's objectively a women's issue. So even if you were totally like a not emotional woman, even if you're totally not emotional and you don't succumb to peer pressure or whatever, like that actual issue in itself is a women's issue. So you're also going to be more, you're going to, be more likely to vote Democrat. And Republicans don't have something like that, like a women's issue. What, pro-life is a women's issue? I mean, they say that, but it's just, yeah. So Jason says sex work can be very dangerous. So so many jobs can be dangerous. When it's your own choice to do something, it's fine. Like as long as and people are like, oh, how dare you? They're trying to make it into like an emotional thing. How dare you call this real work? Like they're like trying to like flip it on AOC, and they're like, how dare you call sex work real work? Tell that to the people who are trafficked, to the victims of sex trafficking. Tell that to those people who are suffering. And it's like, dude, those people didn't have a choice. That's not their job. They're slaves. Like, why are we comparing those two things together? Women, as a general rule, straight women generally don't mind being adored. In fact, they like it. We women like being adored. That's like a female trait. They like it when people look at them, think they're pretty. Like, if it's not your choice, then that's a totally different issue. Midnight, thank you so much for a compliment, Midnight, on Periscope. I really appreciate that. And that's awesome that you live in Austin. I'm just going to keep saying that. Anytime someone says they live in Austin, I'm going to say that's awesome you live in Austin. Austin is awesome. Even though I really want to go sometime. I really want to go there sometime. I've just been in Dallas Fort Worth the whole time. And Jason is right. Women should come and work in real estate. And I'm not just saying that to plug my business. Like, I do actually think it's great for women. And I agree with you. RM. Ooh. My cousin is calling me. I'm going to call her back. I have a cousin, by the way. This is totally unrelated. I have a cousin who looks like a model. All my cousins are gorgeous, but this particular cousin is like, whoa, she's the tallest woman you've ever seen. She's like almost abnormally tall, but normal enough that it's like, okay, she's just a model. And she's really skinny and gorgeous, like fit, not like gross skinny, like very, very fit and slender. And you see her and you're just like, whoa. And she has like a very, like, she has like a delicate girly look. And you see her and you're like, she's definitely a model and she's definitely on OnlyFans. And she's not. She's a pharmacist, and she became a pharmacist by the time she was 22, which is insane. She like skipped a lot of grades because she's so smart. And I don't know why I'm saying this whole story, because she just called me and I just thought about that. But she would make a lot of money on OnlyFans if she hadn't. But a lot of women don't have that, like, I call it a privilege of knowing that they, of having their career path set at such a young age. She did, so that's why she's making good money as in the pharmaceutical industry. But a lot of women don't have that, figured out at such a young age. Most senior. Arman says most senior management are usually men, which have a bias to hire those similar to themselves. Yeah, that's true. Sil says Sil. I know. Sorry, I keep calling you Cecil. I'm gonna call you Sil. Okay, so Felix says, by the way, Sil and I have some really cool stuff planned, which I'm really excited to announce to you guys soon. Some really, really exciting and cool stuff planned. Felix says the problem with OnlyFans is that it's a lie, $10 model income. And number two, its incentives are narcissistic and parasite. It incentivizes narcissistic and parasitic relationships between people. So it basically, it makes you pay for things that you can get for free by following like just regular social media accounts. Jason, thank you so much. Let's see. But maybe the person you're following on OnlyFans is incentivized to give you more than the person on social media would. Rick says, I'm not moving to Texas and I live in Fresno. Great, enjoy. Jason says they can just do risque boudoir modeling. Yeah, it's all how you frame it. Paul says the Californians leaving have already turned Arizona and Nevada blue. Pray they don't do the same to Texas. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Texas is already, kind of, it's not the companies that are turning Texas blue. The people, like, it's not Elon Musk and HP and Oracle and like Tesla that are turning Texas blue. It's all like their employees that they're bringing with them. Like the people that, and people are like, Pardes, why are you recruiting people to come to Texas and turn Texas blue? The people the people that I'm recruiting to come, first of all, I'm recruiting people in Dallas, Fort Worth. And so that's not Austin. Dallas, Fort Worth is a different market. It's more construction focused. It's more like film production and the financial industry. That's like a different crew than the tech industry based in Austin. So the people that I'm recruiting are mostly they're hustlers, they're entrepreneurs, and they have their own businesses. Those kind of people tend to be Republican, usually, like the small business people, the one-man show. But the people that are likely to turn Texas blue, in my opinion, first of all, are Texans. Native Texans are they tend to vote blue more than even people who move to Texas. And also the people who are working for these companies that are moving to Texas, because those people are there, they don't have the same, like, and not everybody, but it's more likely the people who are working for those companies. It's a personality thing. You're more likely to be a Democrat if you work for a large corporation, or you work for government, or you are, you are on welfare. And that's not to say everybody, but it's just like more likely. Felix says, if porn/OnlyFans content is harmful, addiction altering brain chemistry like drugs, is selling heroin ethical? Very easy money selling drugs. That is a good question. I mean, I didn't read it correctly, but you're saying, I mean, I think I know what you're saying. You're saying it's like, yeah, you're saying if it's fine because it's a way to make money, then is it fine to sell heroin? To be honest, like, since you asked, I think it's not your responsibility. I think it's important to be honest about the harmful effects of the things that you are selling. And so that's unethical. If you're lying about the effects of the things that you're selling, that's unethical and that's wrong. But if you're honest about it, it's not your responsibility to control your consumers' actions. People die every year from smoking. Almost 500,000 Americans have died from smoking or related to or secondhand smoking. Tobacco, no one is shutting down the tobacco industry. In fact, the tobacco industry is stronger than ever, especially now during COVID. They're not responsible for what their consumers do with their product. Paul says, biggest mistake I made with women is thinking that they think logically. Oh my gosh, sorry. I'm reading these old comments and the comments are coming in so much faster than I'm used to today. Cold says, Belle is almost a billionaire and is super posh. Props, can't wait for Christmas. Yeah, Belle Delphine, I'm a huge fan of Belle Delphine because I think she's just such a genius. John says, if you had a son, what would you think if he had a wife that had an OnlyFans account? I don't know. I think that it depends on their relationship. Like, if they have a good relationship, good marriage, then who am I to say that's wrong? I don't know. Cold says, how did Laura Ingraham get so hot in 2 years? The teeth are a huge difference. I want to get perfect teeth like you guys. Yeah, Laura gets hotter every year. The older she gets, the hotter she gets. It's called plastic. I'm kidding. What? Who said that? Neo Neon says, Pardes, what is the best way to attract Middle Eastern women? Like, also not to overgeneralize, but I think Middle Eastern women are already generally attracted to white men. You didn't hear this from me, but I feel like, and just because I see it so much, like I see it so often, and I have a lot of cousins, so like and family friends. I see it very often that they're like attracted to white men. I think it's like this weird complex of in the past, like white men have been like kind of like seen as like the savior in the Middle East. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking, but you probably get my point already. So you just be yourself. I don't know. Unless you're not, unless I don't know. I don't know. That's a really hard question for me to answer, and I did it terribly. And like, hopefully, someone doesn't take a clip out of that and make it a whole like racist, make it seem like a racist thing. Okay. Sweet Lou Bello says, "What other platforms are you on?" I'm on Instagram, on Twitter, and YouTube. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel because Periscope is going to be down soon, and YouTube is going to be the only thing that's up. Jason says, "Thanks for a what did I say?" I'm reading your comments too late because the comments are coming in too fast. So I'm like probably responding to something that you said like 10 minutes ago. Thank you for the super chat. Ivy Rippenham says, "My butt makes noises." Thank you for sharing that with us and putting in the super chat so that I need to read it. Okay. Restream. Yes, I can see Periscope comments. And right, Texas is red. Once the voting systems are transparent, nobody will care where you live. 2 decades of fraud will open eyes. John says, "Was it easy to get your real estate license in Texas?" It was, I think it's, I mean, I know it's a lot harder to get it in Texas than other places and then other states because it's just like a lot more hours. But I did it through an app that made it very easy. In the video that I made about getting your Texas real estate license, I included a link to the app. It's like a course, and it's also way cheaper than other courses, and it makes it way easier. And they have a really high pass rate. So if you want, DM me and I'll send you the link. And also the link that I have, you also get a 20% discount. So, or 20 or 25%, something like that discount. So, which is pretty awesome. So I'll send it to you if you DM me. Okay. Ron Paul says, "If heroin was legal, how many of you would go out to use it?" I like this. I like this quote. You wouldn't. Haha. Alrighty. Matheson Shane says, "Honey, you're so wrong. That tobacco industry is nowhere near as strong as it was years ago." It has definitely gotten stronger recently, like this year compared to the past few years. I don't know about the past few decades, but definitely in this year in 2020, compared with the past few years, the tobacco industry has been way stronger because people are smoking a lot more. So I agree with you. Like, people did smoke a lot more in the past, meaning in the past decades ago, but compared with this past like few years, right now the tobacco industry is stronger. John says, "Has anyone ever told you that you look like George Costanza's girlfriend that kind of looks like Jerry? Like Jerry Seinfeld?" I'm gonna look it up. A is from Germany. Thanks for watching this from Germany. What's up? That is really cool. George Costanza's girlfriend. Who is that? She's blonde. I think you're talking about Jerry Seinfeld. Someone made a song about how I look like Jerry Seinfeld, and I loved it. And I think I saved it somewhere, but I don't know where I saved it because now I can't find it. Matthew Shane says, would you bring your kids to work with you? Cold says, never did coke, but legalize it because this is America. Yes, I agree. Never, Jason says, never listen to a woman who says be yourself. That's how women get ahead. All they have to do is be themselves. Harry, I see you on Twitch. I'm not ignoring Twitch. Cold says, don't be afraid of the internet. Follow Keemstar. He's been through everything. Keemstar is interesting. Lemeow says, you always say what you think, and if I haven't thought it, I always agree with you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I don't expect you to agree with me all the time, but I appreciate it that you enjoy it. Cold says Keem and Cherno should be a duo. Nice. I am loving Texas OTS. Texas is awesome. Lemeow says my biggest fear is Texas turning bluish or purple. Texas, I think, in the big cities are already kind of purple. The big cities, but there's still some things that are never going to change, and I think Texas is always going to be like basically a red state. I am not a huge heroin fan either. Cold says Ron Paul says that in 2012 debates, the establishment hated it when he went in beast mode. Whoa, I'm sorry for going through these comments so slowly. Whoa. John says, do you read Quillette? What are your thoughts on the criticism towards them regarding race science? What? Here, I put the question on the screen. So, what are my thoughts on the criticism towards them regarding race science? What do they say about race science? I read them sometimes, but not very often. I haven't seen their stuff recently. One magazine that I've been seeing a lot being shared is Evie magazine. Evie has been really popular lately, and Evie is a magazine run by my friend Brittany Martinez. She's an actual model, and she's gorgeous, and she, like, all her friends are gorgeous too. They're all like model friends, and she and all of them like make videos and do like write stuff and get featured in her magazine, and it's really fun and popular. So, and they talk a lot, and they're really trad and conservative. That has been very popular lately. But yeah, I didn't read Colette lately. Alrighty. Ooh, Sil. What up, Sil? Oh, I'm so excited to share with you guys what Sil and I have planned. I mean, we've been talking about stuff, and I when I started doing these live streams, I didn't know at all like how big it was going to be. It was really just for myself to have an outlet, and they were so unprofessional, and I didn't have any experience in front of a camera, so they were also kind of practice for me, and it was embarrassing, and it was like everyone who was watching was basically a guinea pig being used by me in order to practice my speaking skills on them. But over time, it was so crazy to find out who has been watching my videos. Like, people that are real. I remember one time being in DC, and I was in Capitol Hill, and I was at the Blaze had an office in the Capitol Hill, and I saw Eric Bolling there. He's like the former Fox News host who's now with them, and he was like, "Oh yeah, great show," and I was like, "Show?" He's like, "Oh yeah, your live streams, Pardes Live, great show." I watched it, and I was like, "What? Eric Bolling watched my live streams? Like, this is something and this is even better. Like, at least now I have the common sense to put like a drop of color on my head so it doesn't look that embarrassingly bland. But back then, oh, and I also at least now know what frequency of internet to use and be a little bit more careful about these things. Then when he was saying it, it was embarrassing. I was doing it like in my bedroom. I was doing it with like the lights half off. I was really awkward and not really knowing what to talk about. Holy moly. So it's really cool. If anyone wants tips on making live streams, I definitely recommend it. And it's really cool to watch something like that grow over time, even though, especially like I don't have an excuse because I'm a girl. So you'd think that I would be growing faster, but even with all these, but it's still growing. Like it's whatever. Okay. Colt says, dude, WTF happened to Eric Bolling? His son died, so he got fired. Literally, what? Oh yeah, he hosted the 5. Yeah, it's really sad. I think Fox is awful. I think Fox News is just such garbage. And I'm sorry for saying that about my former employer. I don't think I signed anything that said I'm not allowed to say that. So I'm saying it. Fox is like that girl. Fox News is that girl who's like, you tell her this is the popular person and that's the unpopular person, and she immediately like pushes you away if you're the unpopular person because she doesn't want to have anything to do with you because she's so obsessed with her image and her social status. That's Fox. Fox will throw all clout and viewership and ratings under the rug if it means like they can go with the more popular, but I mean, they're not as bad as CNN and MSNBC in that sense, but they're still pretty bad. They are constantly licking the bottoms of people who are establishment DC insiders and Democrats. Even though their hosts, their anchors that they prop up are supposedly hardcore Republican, right-wingers, GOP, blah, 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 Trump supporters, but they're constantly licking the butts of Democrats and DC insiders because, and they're constantly treating people who are supposedly on their side like absolute garbage. If you're their viewer, they do not have respect for you. I have no agenda by saying this. I'm not trying to like control any agenda. This is Fox News says talk smack now that we're in the room, woman. Oh my gosh. Is this really Fox News? This is not Fox News. This is someone pretending to be Fox News in the comments. This is so funny. Yeah, I don't have any. Felix is going to start a podcast or maybe stream or DLive in the new year. Hit me up when you do, and maybe I can come on as guest. By the way, if you asked me to be a guest on your stream or your show and I didn't answer, I didn't like not want to. I probably was too busy. Like, I mean, not now. Like now I'm less busy, but because like I left my old job in order to focus on the real estate and video stuff. But in the past, yeah, I would have probably just not even noticed your message. So just keep messaging me. And you don't have to if you don't want to. But yeah, I just don't like the way that Fox handles anything. They will throw their longest and most valuable anchors under the bus because they just to make like some sort of like PR statement. And it drives me nuts that they do that. I remember when I was, yeah, I could go on and on about Fox. Actually, I have someone who's going to come on, a longtime Fox News producer who also left Fox. That person is going to come on this live stream and tell you all about it, all about their slimy ways. And this person has been a valuable asset to Fox for so many years. And they don't, they do not cultivate those relationships well, in my opinion, because they don't care. Because they are just too obsessed with licking the bottoms of the insiders and big city establishment. So let's see how long that keeps going for them. And they're the only big TV network on the right that have that as much sway with big tech companies as they do. As far as I know, Fox is the only big media outlet on the right that actually, they're not the only one, but they're one of the few big media outlets on the right that have people on the inside and Twitter. So they have, and also Facebook. I mean, with Facebook, it's even worse. They will actively try to squash right-wing competitors because they want to be the only right-wing game in town, even though they haven't, the producers who work there, they have no respect for conservatives. They're just like all the others. Anyway, I'm gonna try not to talk about too much. Jason says, I'm just happy Pardes isn't at Fox, even though she is a Fox. Thank you. Neo Neon says, OAN and Newsmax are coming up fast. Yes, they are. Although I predict that they're going to turn into mini Fox Newses. And so it's like a cycle. So we'll see. Whatever. Yay. I support it. I support new people coming, new growing. I support like the cycle. So new businesses coming up. Okay. So I'm going to go now. Shamanti says Fox is no longer on the right. Yeah. Even though they claim to be. Thanks for the compliments about the hair. All right. John says, is your Twitter account helping your real estate business? It is. I mean, I don't know. I just started, so we'll see. I've been getting a lot of calls and emails, but we'll see if any of them are like, any of you guys who have been calling and emailing are like actually serious about buying and investing. Still, I'm gonna call you and thanks. Good night, Paul. Good night, Jason. I'll talk to you. Oh, wait 1 second. Caleb says, would you date a man who wanted a domestic disciplined relationship if you liked everything else about him? I don't know what that is. I am dating a man, my boyfriend, and I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it sounds like, it sounds kind of kooky. It sounds like probably like a thing that I don't know about. Okay, see you all later. Have a great evening. Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas for next week. Oh, before I go, if you're on YouTube, like this video. And thanks to the super chatters. And if you are on Periscope, go over to my YouTube channel. It's in my link in the bio, and go and subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video.